I'm Linda Hirsch, and this is EdCast, a program created and produced by educators for everyone interested in education. One of the most difficult decisions brought about by COVID-19 is to return or not to return to school. It is a wildly problematic issue for K through 12 and reaches into post-secondary education as well. With college tuition often over $40,000 a year, students and families expect more than online instruction, and many, whether in public or private institutions, crave the college experience that exists outside the classroom. A number of colleges made the decision to return to campus, even if instruction is still remote, while some are even offering face-to-face classes. So how's it working out? For some, the decision to return to campus already seems ill-fated, with shutdowns almost immediate. But other colleges seem to be doing well. Today, EdCast speaks with 6 college students from across the country, and even Scotland, for their take on the return to campus, and in one case, a freshman year taking place from home. Join us now for some frank conversation about returning to campus during COVID-19, coming up on EdCast. With me today are some college students from across the country. We'll talk about how their colleges are handling the pandemic and their experiences as students during COVID-19. I want to welcome you all and thank you for taking the time to appear with us on EdCast. What I'd like to do is just go around the grid quickly and just tell us your name and what campus you are on and what year you are in terms of your study. And I'm going to start with Tom because he is not from across the country. So let's start with you.
Hi, my name is Tom Mckillop. I'm actually from New York, but I'm studying here in Scotland at the University of Edinburgh. So as she said, yes, not from the US at the moment.
And are you a first year student, Tom?
Yes, I am. Sorry, yes.
Okay, let's go to Frankie. Hi.
Hi, my name is Frankie Florman. I'm a freshman, a first year at the University of Maryland.
And Anna?
Hi everyone, I'm Anna Park. I am a third year at New York University. I'm in New York City, but not on campus.
And Hridesh?
Hi everyone, my name is Hridesh Singh. I'm originally from Rochester, New York, but currently I'm a first year at Williams College and I'm living on campus this semester.
Thanks. Azalea?
Hi, my name's Azalea. I'm a first year student at Lafayette College, but campus is all remote, so I'm at home in my bedroom in Brooklyn.
And Isabella?
Hi, I'm Isabella or Bella Bohner. I'm from New York City and I go to NYU Gallatin School of Individualized Education, and I'm currently off campus.
So what I really want to also know about you right now is what your living situation is. Are you in a dorm? Are you in an apartment? Are you alone? So let's just get a kind of sense of that a little bit, all right? Tom, what about you?
Well, I'm in a dorm at the moment. However, given the current situation, it's actually looking a little bit more like I'm going to be headed back to New York for a little while because things are beginning to go into our second lockdown in this country. So it's starting to seem a little bit questionable whether I should be here or not. So yeah, that's the situation I'm in at the moment.
Okay. Frankie, how about you? What's your living situation?
I'm in an off-campus apartment in College Park, Maryland, and I have a roommate, and we're like a 3-minute walk from campus, so we're right in the center of College Park.
And Isabella, how about you?
I'm off campus because I'm a junior transfer, so I'm in an apartment in Manhattan with my roommate who also goes to NYU.
Hridesh?
I'm in a dorm. I'm actually a single, and I'm pretty sure almost all students this year, at least at Williams College, are in singles as well.
And they did that intentionally because of the pandemic?
Yeah, so since Williams College is a small liberal arts school, the student class sizes are already small, so the college was able to accommodate singles for pretty much all students this year.
And what about you, Anna?
Yeah, I'm also in an off-campus apartment here in Manhattan with 2 of my other roommates who also go to NYU.
And we know that Azalea is home in Brooklyn, right? Okay, so what I want to ask, Frankie, let me start with you. Did you want to go to campus when this year began? And what about your parents? Did they want you to go?
Yeah, so I wanted to go, and my parents also wanted me to go because everything is so like up in the air, I guess, this year at colleges. But like the one thing they could be certain about was that I would be in College Park and have the opportunity to make friends, and hopefully second semester have some in-person classes. So they wanted me to get that, at least that part of the experience, by not living at home and living in the, like, I guess the city where my college is.
And Tom, what about you?
I was very encouraged to come here. I mean, it wasn't really a great option in the beginning to stay in New York just because of what I thought would be the issue of time difference. But now, given that I am considering going back to the US, what's been really great is that they've made really great accommodations for kids who weren't able to make it on campus. So for all of the live classes that we have, there's an option at 11 a.m. and at 4 p.m. so that whatever time zones you're in, something's going to work for you. And then additionally, a lot of our lectures are actually pre-recorded, so you can just watch them whenever you feel like. And then there's a weekly question and answer session if you need to get additional information. So yeah, I was very encouraged to be on campus, and I think it's working out pretty well for me given the situation.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know.
Hridesh, what about you? Did you want to go on campus?
Yeah, I definitely really wanted to go on campus, and my parents are pretty supportive of this as well. And again, since Williams is a relatively small liberal arts school, and it's also in rural Western Massachusetts, I personally felt and my family felt pretty safe to send me here. And so far, it's been a really great experience.
What have your campuses been doing, all of them, I mean, even NYU as well, to keep you safe? What kind of safety protocols have been put into place? Anyone want to start that one? Frankie, you want to start?
Yeah, I can start. So I'm living off campus, so I don't really have as many, I guess, like safety precautions in place for me. But I do have, like, at the beginning when we first got here, there was mandatory testing that was provided either on campus, or you could find somewhere off campus, and you had to give them like your results. That was for everyone on and off campus. On campus, they are doing only single dorms. You can only take out from the cafeteria. You can't eat there. You have to wear your masks everywhere, of course. And then for students that do get corona, they have dorms that are available to those students that they can move into and quarantine during that time.
Now, what about NYU? I know you're not living on campus, but sometimes I know you're going to a class maybe face-to-face. We'll talk about that later. But so what happens when you go to NYU? What kind of precautions are in place there?
So we have like a daily screener that we have to fill out before we go into any building, just stating that we don't have corona, we don't have any symptoms. And we also get tests. We now have the spit test that we self-administer, which I personally, it's kind of annoying. I prefer just going and getting
swab.
The swab. So we have those tests every other week. And then I only have one in-person class that meets once a week. So.
And Anna, what about you? Is there anything extra that you have to do?
Yeah, I mean, I think Isabella pretty much covered it, but I just wanted to add, I also have one in-person class, but in the classroom, the protocol is that we all have one seat that we're assigned for the entirety of the semester, and they're all 6 feet apart, and we have to remain there for the rest of the semester. And as Isabella said, we have to do the daily screener to enter any buildings. So I've been feeling pretty safe.
And Hridesh, how about you? Anything they're doing at Williams?
Yeah, so I mentioned obviously pretty much all dorms on campus are single capacity. Obviously there's a mask mandate on campus. Certain rooms and buildings have capacity requirements, so you can't pass, for example, in the common room on my flat, you can't have more than 4 people in the common room. Mm-hmm. Food is all takeout, and we get tested twice a week using a nasal test.
And what about Scotland? What are they doing in Edinburgh, Tom?
It's pretty intense. I actually 2 days ago finished a month-long quarantine, and it wasn't supposed to originally be a month long, but I did 2 weeks coming from the United States, and then I was out of quarantine for about 2 hours when I got an NHS track and trace text, which basically said that I had to then quarantine for an additional 14 days because one person on my floor in my dorm got corona, and then ultimately all of us got corona. So it's been a little bit of an issue. They're having a lot of trouble dealing with all the cases. So my last in-person class was actually just moved online, so I never got to attend an in-person class. So things are being dealt with pretty seriously here. There's not much abiding by social distancing in the kind of halls of residences, which is kind of causing a lot of problems. So yeah, it gets kind of stricter every day nowadays.
I want to ask you then, that idea of living in a limited environment, with limited people, I guess what people call living in a pod, is that working? Is that happening? That people are staying with their small groups of friends or roommates?
It's not required unless you are put into a self-isolation. So when you're in self-isolation, you're allowed to be on your floor in your dorm, and you're allowed to interact with anyone you want on your dorm, on your floor in your dorm. So that's the only time when, being together like that is mandated. Technically, according to Scottish law at the moment, you're not supposed to mix households, which basically means like the people you live with in any regard. So you're first of all not supposed to be in more than a group of 6, and you're not supposed to mix households, but obviously that never happens. I mean, what do you expect? A bunch of 18-year-olds trying to have a good time in college. But
Frankie, now you also mentioned having roommates. Do you all stick together, or is that how does that work?
Yeah, so I only have one roommate actually. We hang out with people outside a lot and out for dinner. In the dorms, like I'm not allowed inside the dorms because I'm an off-campus student. But in the dorms, within the dorms, I think the students that are living there definitely socialize more than they're supposed to.
I want to ask all of you, whether you're even Azalea from home, that idea of social distancing and wearing masks in your environments, are people doing that? I mean, Anna and Isabella are in the New York City area. Azalea is. Anna, what's your feeling about social distancing and people wearing masks? Is it happening among your peers?
Yeah, I think definitely among my peers, we all pretty much encourage each other to wear masks. It's pretty self-regulatory, I feel, because it has been so ingrained as this like social thing. It's kind of weird and out of place to not be wearing a mask anymore. I think, that has been the biggest, I guess, like social or cultural change for me, at least personally. And so I think in that sense, it's pretty like regulated among us, but I don't know about the city as a whole.
Azalea, let me ask you then. You're in the city, you're doing college from home. How do you see friends, and what's your social contact life like?
Well, okay, it's actually pretty difficult. So almost everyone I know is like actually on campus, like way far away in a different part of the country. And so it's been a little difficult. Some people I know are here, and to an extent, the people that are here, we've been like formed our own pod and have been able to see each other, especially some of the people I organize with. But almost all of my high school friends are on campus, even kids who go to similar sized colleges and like larger colleges. But I think definitely, specifically with some of my friends who go to Binghamton University, they're pretty certain that it's going to get shut down. A few of them have been able to visit, which has been interesting.
So you are feeling, I was going to ask you if all of you, if you feel safe. Now we're already hearing from Tom that you already got COVID. I'm assuming you recovered relatively easily, or no?
Yes,
okay.
I was actually asymptomatic, but everyone on my floor recovered perfectly fine.
Recovered well. Well, how about the rest of you? Hridesh, is there a crisis looming at Williams? Are you concerned about anything happening there, or does it seem under control?
Yeah, we actually, as of last week, we only have 4 confirmed cases since the students and faculty came back. So, and again, just the broader community, Berkshire County in Western Massachusetts is a relatively rural county. Cases are low, in like just a couple hundreds or so in the county as well. So least personally, I'm feeling very, very safe. People are adhering to mask mandate. Obviously, you have like, certain students sometimes not adhering to it, but overall, I feel very, very safe here. And I think the college is doing a fantastic job keeping students safe.
Frankie, what about you? Do you feel it's under control?
So I actually had corona, like my second week at school. I had been wearing my mask pretty much all the time when I was around people, like besides my roommate, if we were like inside and if we were close outside. But I still managed to get it somehow. And I don't think that Maryland is necessarily like the safest community just because there's so many students here. There's like 35,000 undergrads, and I'm not sure how many are living on campus, but it's like a huge school. And so I think it's kind of hard. They're doing, I think, as much as they can, but beyond that, it's kind of hard to control a bunch of teenagers from kind of socializing.
General impression, I mean, among all of you, that your campuses and your fellow students are taking the COVID crisis seriously, or are you seeing that some people, some colleges had to shut down almost right away? SUNY Oneonta is having major parties going on, and within, I don't know, a few days of opening, they had to shut. What are you seeing happening where you are? Hridesh?
Yeah, I mean, definitely you do have like incidences where you have like large gathering of students. There was actually just an article in the Williams Record, the student newspaper, that reported about a couple gatherings that happened on some of the quads where there were more than 10 people, because there's a capacity of only 10 people being together. So you do have like cases like that, but overall, I do feel that the students are adhering to most of the guidelines. Hence, we only have 4 students that have gotten COVID since August 17th. So far, things have been good.
And what about the rest of you? Anything to add to that?
Well, initially when I arrived, actually, we were in a very late stage of reopening from COVID restrictions. So like partying in large groups of people was allowed, bars were open, all of that. So people had become quite accustomed to just kind of living normal life, even despite the pandemic. And then, of course, with universities coming back, a lot of cases rose, and so restrictions had to get stricter. We actually just closed bars and restaurants again only 2 days ago. And, outdoor parties on campus are still happening. And so, unfortunately, the police have been here almost every night just to shut down kind of irresponsible large gatherings. And I think it's just been tough.
This raises the big question and the kind of controversy. So I'm sure you know. So campuses close down and the finger pointing starts. Who's to blame? Is it the irresponsible students who should know better, or is it the administration who should have known that these are teens and people in their early 20s and they're going to be irresponsible perhaps? So it's the administration's fault for bringing people back on campus. What's your feeling about that? Anybody?
I would say nobody is really to blame because we're all in this new situation that none of us really know particularly exactly how to handle. So I think it was best to try and get everyone back on campus because that's obviously going to be best for their education and all of that.
What about the rest of you? Any other thoughts about that? Good point. Anybody?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that a lot of kids, students, and parents alike wanted their students to be on campus, but they had to know kind of like the consequences, I guess, because there's only so much the schools can do. At Maryland, for example, like there's a lot of kids who are off campus and in apartments and houses, and there's only so much they can do. If there's no noise complaint or anything like that, like they can't just go barging into houses and apartments. So I think everyone's doing the best they can, and like no one's necessarily to blame for anything going on. Like everyone's just trying to make everyone happy.
So the other big part of the pandemic is remote instruction. And almost all of you are basically doing your work via remote instruction. And I want to know how you feel about that. And so Azalea, let's start with you, having your first year experience completely remote. What's your take on remote instruction, face versus face-to-face?
I mean, it's kind of difficult because I don't really have a frame of reference, right? Like I don't really know what college is supposed to be like in person. Yeah. So far, Lafayette is doing a really, really good job, I think, remote. It's luckily all of my classes are super small, even the big lectures, everything is under 30 people. And so everything's like in-person Zoom meetings. I think I would have a really difficult time like other big schools with the pre-recorded lectures. And so that's been really good thus far. Definitely a lot smoother than the New York City public high school shift the end of last semester, which was like really difficult to handle. I think they're doing the best that they can given the circumstances.
Okay, how about the rest of you? Some of you are taking some classes in person, some online. What's your take on what you prefer and what's better for you?
So all of mine actually are online. It's been fine. Almost all my classes except one are under 20 people. One of them is 90 people. So the 90-person one is definitely a bit frustrating because it's not personal at all. Like the teacher wouldn't know if you were there or not. They don't take attendance, nothing like that. So it's like, it's really hard to get to know your teacher and for them to get to know you, which is definitely annoying. But I also kind of expected that coming into a school as large as Maryland, that I would have a few classes that are quite large. But the rest of my classes are really small, and I've felt like I've gotten to know a good group of students within that, and my teacher and my TAs. It would definitely be nice to be in person. In terms of socializing, it's really hard to like make friends. Like that's a really great way to make friends is through in-person classes. And I don't have that luxury, so it's definitely been difficult in that sense. But I think that Maryland has done a pretty good job of doing online courses. There's very few pre-recorded courses, which is really great because nobody really wants that. So I think they've done a pretty good job given what they can.
Great. Now, Anna and Isabella are third-year students, so you really do have a good point of comparison. So Anna, let me start with you. What do you prefer, and how's it going with the online, and what do you think?
Yeah, so personally, I've honestly kind of enjoyed having online classes, especially with my bigger lectures. I have classes that might be, you know, like 130 plus people. If we're all sitting in the lecture hall, obviously it's, you know, like not that personal. You're sitting there listening to the class, but online using the like chat function, we can like directly message the professor. If we like come up with a question during class, we can just text it into the chat box and the professor sees that. And so it's kind of like this like immediate like reinforcement of like your learning and like your questions and stuff. So I think honestly, it's been garnering a lot of participation from students who generally might not have been brave enough to like participate in like these big like lecture settings. So I think in that sense, it has been sort of positive for me.
Isabella, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm fortunate enough to have one in-person class and 3 online. So I do, and my in-person class is 3 hours once a week. So it's a good, I would say, balance between like being in class and having that like social interaction in person with your professor, and with, it's a small class, so I think there's probably like 5 of us or up to 7. And then also being online, I feel as though my professors have been like trained in Zoom and they kind of like know the deal now. It's not like that quick switch we had in March where everyone
I'm learning,
yeah, where no one really knew what they were doing. But I do enjoy the balance, and I like just getting on my computer and just being at home as well.
Hridesh, how about you?
Yeah, again, I'm pretty lucky. I feel most of my classes are below 12 people. I only have one class that has 20 people, so Zoom is actually really conducive for those small learning environments. And most of my classes are also discussion based, so Zoom's actually been really helpful to facilitate discussion, surprisingly, I feel. Again, I don't really have a frame of reference because I am a first year as well. But so far the transition from like high school to college, even in this like Zoom pandemic era of learning, has been really still a really rewarding experience. And I feel like I am learning a lot in the classes I'm taking.
So you've been talking about online instruction and some of the benefits and what you don't like about it. Overall, would you like to ultimately go back to face-to-face, or are you happy with online? Do you see a future where there's a mix of them? What do you think?
No, I want to go back to in person. Absolutely. I can't focus online. I'm not going to end up doing the class usually.
Yeah, Sam, I have a really difficult time focusing when it's not like a discussion-based class. And next semester when I have to do like my math and computer science stuff, it's just going to be like way too difficult to handle over Zoom.
Yeah, I definitely want to go back in person. I'm getting very bored very quickly of this online stuff. It's distracting and it's not very productive for me.
Anybody else? Anna? Yeah.
I'm also just not sure how long we can go like staring at our computer screens for like hours on end. I know personally it's already like taken a toll on me. So yeah, I think it'd be best if we return to normal.
Hridesh, anything to add?
Yeah, definitely. I would rather 100% be in person, but so far I haven't really minded remote learning and kind of enjoyed the kind of like interesting and new way that we are learning, but definitely would rather be in person than online.
Raise your hand if you keep your video on all the time when you're attending a class that's a synchronous class and you're supposed to be present. Do you keep your video on? Do you? Hridesh does.
We're told not to because it messes with the connection and bandwidth, so they don't want to deal with that, so they tell us to turn them off actually.
My students never show up with the video on. That's why I'm asking you. So you keep your videos on and sometimes on, sometimes off?
The courses that I have, like that I am told to keep them on in, I will, of course. The ones that are like it's optional for, most of the time I'll have them on. But if I need to like get up to do something, or if like my roommate comes in really quickly, I'll turn them off because it's like it's so unknown between my roommate and I, like when we have classes, I guess. And so sometimes she'll just walk in and I have to like quickly turn it off. But most of the time I'll have it on.
We're running out of time. I can't believe it. I'm going to go around quickly, and I just want you to tell us, how has this experience been for you this year? How would you rate it? Okay, Hridesh, I'm going to start with you. Just quickly. Good experience. Yeah. Freshman year, what do you say?
Considering, the circumstances, it's been really great.
Azalea, a unique experience. You're at home. What do you say?
Like academic-wise, really well. Everything else-wise, really horrible.
Okay, Isabella?
Yeah, I would say academically really well, socially a bit challenging, but not too challenging.
Frankie?
Yeah, I would say academically it's been manageable and great. Socially and living arrangements wise, it's been more difficult and a challenge that I didn't necessarily expect. But everyone's coping, and it'll get better.
Great. Anna, what do you say?
Yeah, given the circumstances, I think this has been a pretty good experiment in, finding new ways of like living either in academic settings or just off campus. So yeah, generally I'd say this has been a pretty good experience.
And Tom, how about you? Last word, quick.
Academically, it's been wonderful, and socially, I'm still kind of figuring it out because I've only been out of my quarantine for about 2 days, so we're gonna have to find out.
You are a resilient group, and I thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. Thank you so very, very much for joining us. That's it for this edition of EdCast. Be well, stay safe. See you next time.
I'd like to hear from you. Please send your thoughts and comments to cunyedcast@gmail.com.